back to the channel and another edition of the Spurs Chat Podcast. And this one is a special one. I am live from South Korea. I've got Melvin with me live from Malta. I've got Simone from Italy, and I've got Duo Max from England. So this is really an international Spurs podcast this evening. Now, Tottenham Hotspur have now finished their time in South Korea after 2 pre-season friendlies. Of course, this evening we played at Sevilla, this afternoon in England, and Italy in Malta. Now, I've got 3 very special guests to talk about today's game. Melvin, what's the weather like over in Malta? How are you?
Bit hot right now, like most summers. I'm very good. I just came back and watched the game. Decent preseason friendly, like usual. It's a little bit good, a little bit bad, a bit of improvement, and like most preseason friendlies, it's a bit, you're a bit bored until someone scores, and then someone makes a mistake, and then the other team scores. It's like most preseason friendlies are like that. So excited for this season, but minutes under the player's belt, and look forward to talk about a positive season. And I think today you posted a video of Nuno's press conference from last year, and I just started laughing. I was like, oh my God, what difference 12 years under Fabio Paratici has made. So yeah, I'm excited to talk
12
about
months,
this one.
Melvin.
And it's only been 12 months. Yeah. So
yeah, well, the reason I posted that video is to show the real change in Tottenham, within a year. Nuno Espirito Santo's first press conference a year ago today, and now, of course, we are under Antonio Conte, looking forward to the new season. We've also got Simone with us from Italy. Simone, how are you?
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine, Chris. I'm fine.
Well, lovely to have you back. And we've got YouTuber Duo Max from England. Max, how are you?
I'm very well, Chris. I mean, I wish I was obviously in South Korea with yourself, but I'm soaking up the rays over here, mate. It's been nice and hot here as well, so, I can't complain, and it's good to be back on the channel.
Well, do you know what? Heung-min Son, after the game, said this week went too quickly for me. It was a dream. And do you know what? I completely agree with Heung-min Son, because this week in South Korea has been absolutely incredible. I'm not rubbing it in, Max. I'm just saying it has been an absolutely brilliant trip. And if you ever get the chance, anyone, to visit this wonderful country, please do, because the people are amazing. The food is amazing. The football has been good as well. But this week has been incredible. Melvin, let's start with you. Tottenham Hotspur won, Sevilla won. We've played 2 pre-season friendlies now in South Korea. Everyone is flying back. Of course, next week we play Rangers, and then the week later we play Roma in Israel, and then the Premier League starts the week later. What have you made of Tottenham's time in South Korea, and what did you make of today's game?
Yeah, I mean, on social media and Twitter, I've seen a lot of content and seen a lot of the players. I think the COVID period kind of made me miss these, because you get to see a lot more of the players, you know what I mean? Because they're all together. You always see videos and pictures, and you got to see them train, and you usually, and I missed that during the COVID period. We didn't get to see these pre-season tours, which are a great opportunity for the fans. And it's insane how massive Spurs are in Korea. It's, I keep seeing photos. All you see is Son shirts, and it's incredible. It's brilliant for the club. It's brilliant for us. And I'm sure you got a brilliant reception in Korea. So yeah, it's everything is positive at the moment, and I enjoyed this whole 2 games. We got to see it on the new Spurs play, which is very good. I even got to watch. I can watch the games back, which is something I usually don't do. I got to watch it, and I got to see like Papa Matassar, these players who I've never seen play for Spurs. And so yeah, these two games we've seen some new faces and some familiar ones. We got to see Oliver Skip back after 6 months. He looked good, but he looked a bit rusty, and I think people are still getting used to that preseason and those runs. And we got some pictures of players fainting or falling over, which were amazing. I think I enjoyed watching them suffer. I don't know why, I just enjoyed it. I just enjoyed them, watching them out of breath, falling over. You know, the period under Nuno and under Jose. In my mind, I'm thinking, this is payback. You guys need this. They need this. They need to be put under this kind of torture in a way, because their body will get used to it, and they'll reap the benefits this season with those, you know, with the difficulties that what's his name, the short guy, the general or whatever they call him, the guy who's running them through the preseason.
Well, I don't know whether you saw the video that I posted earlier, Melvin, of me asking Harry Kane and Eric Dyer, did they expect the 42 lengths? They certainly didn't. Not that night.
Yeah. I think I was able to do about 15. I don't know about you, Chris. I think you're training for a marathon. How many would you should have been there doing them with them?
I would have done it, no problem. Simone, let's come to you. What did you make of today's game and Tottenham's time in South Korea so far?
Yeah, quite interesting points of view, Chris. The first one is to look at Lucas Moura playing as a right wing back. That was quite interesting, to be honest. I think that it can become an option not just for Tottenham, but for him to help him to go on his career at Spurs, because he can learn something extra, something more. Antonio Conte just showed us how to transform a right winger to a proper right wing back, just like he said into the press conference. Look at Victor Moses at Chelsea. Look at Antonio Candreva on Inter de Milan times. He always played many right winger as a right wing back. So why not? I think that to look at Lucas Moura playing that position can pave the way for Emerson Royal to go out, to go away, to walk from our club, because I'm not so sure he can stay. We are waiting for the official announcement of Jet Spence. I think, and I truly do, that Antonio rates a lot Matt Doherty, because Matt Doherty is a very clever player, experienced player. He knows the Premier League. He knows how to play with and without the ball. And he is, I repeat, very clever with and without the ball. So I think that Spence, Doherty, and when it comes, Lucas Moura will be the three that can play in that position. So I don't think Emerson Royal will be a Tottenham player anymore at the end of the transfer window.
Last time you were on, Simone, you said it's all about June, and it certainly was about June, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and it was. Last time I also said that Bentancur was a sort of wings when he used to play for Juventus, but it was true. When he played for Juventus, Bentancur wasn't that kind of player that we have admired in these 6 months. So it's unbelievable how football can change players, and definitely what an adventure since now has been for both Dejan Kulusevski and Rodrigo Bentancur.
Max, let's come to you. I absolutely love having you on this channel because you're so positive, exactly like me. How are you feeling right now as a Spurs fan, having seen Tottenham play 2 games in South Korea?
Well, obviously, other than being there, Chris, you're not going to keep the smile off my face, mate. It's just nice to see us. It's nice to see us, like, being in Son's home country, and just how that makes him.
Yeah.
It just show how mad, like, having someone as happy as him in the team can make other players happy as well. Because that's what it's all about. Like, you can see they're being put through the paces. The training looks intense. But when you've got players in the squad with such character, it brings out the best in them. I mean, I know it's going a bit off topic, but I saw, we'll talk about the game as well, but there was even like moments where you can see they're a family, and like a tackle goes in and you got Romero and Richarlison, who were once enemies, then they're suddenly next to each other fighting, competing. Like, they're the ones that are right there. So it's so nice. The Tottenham family's growing. As you'll know, being out there, the support's incredible. Everyone's just looking forward to the start of the season now. We've got more signings to potentially come in as well. It's an exciting time to be a Spurs fan. I know I said that the last time I was on the podcast, but it's growing. I can't wait to be back in the stadium. I can't wait to just be around other Spurs fans and just experience it. And it's so hard to describe to people that don't support the same team as you. They don't have the same emotion. I can't wait to be around 60,000 Spurs fans in a new stadium, back again, new season, because this is it. You're there. You can see how happy they all are. You can see how they all respect Conte. I mean, they're getting put in through the paces. Definitely. That 40 laps, mate. I wasn't going to be doing that at the Tottenham Stadium. No way. But yeah, no, it's just it's good vibes. It's just that there's no negativity. There's no one pulling us down at the moment. Not that we know about, obviously, anyway. And just long may it continue as the new season approaches.
Now let's go through the starting 11 in the game. Hugo Lloris in goal, the back three of Sanchez, Dyer, Romero, the wing backs, Lucas Moura and Ryan Sessegnon. In midfield, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Oliver Skipp, and then the front three of Richarlison, Kane and Son. Max, let's stay with you because Simone mentioned earlier about Lucas Moura playing at wing back. Were you surprised by this decision? Because after the game, Antonio Conte has said, I spoke to Lucas Moura and I think that this is a good option for me. And in the past, I converted Perisic in that position. Moses was the same before a winger and then become a wing back. Are you surprised by Lucas Moura playing in this position, particularly that we are just about to announce Jed Spence as our 6th summer signing?
It obviously causes a bit of controversy in the Spurs camp, but he's got the ability. Like we've said it in the past before, that I just wanted to see it happen, especially towards the end of the season when you've got no Doherty, no Emerson, or he's got the ability. He can jump. He beats every player in the air. He's quick. He can beat a player. And in the right wing back position, you need players that can get up and down the pitch. And knowing that obviously Richarlison and Kulusevski can play on the right, maybe he knows himself. He doesn't want to be forced out of the club. He loves it. You always see him happy. So the fact if he can like solidify a position in the team and make that his own and a bit of competition with Jed Spence, obviously that does force the likes of Emerson and Doherty out potentially, but it's a position there to like make your own. Like Kulusevski came in and made that right wing position himself, like made it his own. He's the first on the team sheet. What's to say Lucas can't come in and start right wing back or right back every time we play now? It's more of an attacking position these in the years since probably 10 years ago. You don't need to be that defensively minded, especially in the wing back position. You just have to be able to know the game plan. It's completely different. And the fact he's got pace, he can score, he can cross. Well, I don't know if he can cross, but obviously it's something he can work on from playing in those like advanced positions. Maybe he only needs to work on the defensive side. Maybe that's why Conte thought, let's play him in the pre-season. We'll see if it happens again against Rangers and so on. But it's exciting because I really like Lucas. I just feel like we've got better attacking options. So if he can get that position right, there's no reason why he can't make it his own, you know?
Melvin, let's come to you on the same question. Do you like the fact that Lucas Moura is playing at right wing back, and would you like to see him play in that position in the Premier League?
I don't know. It depends. It depends how solid he is defensively, because going forward, I think he's proven to be a good option. Especially if it's a tight game and you need an attacking option and you're 1-0 down or you're going for that victory and there's 10 minutes left, and with the 5 subs, people are tired. You put on his pace and you like plays wing back and just run and he has the pace for it. He can beat a man. He can shoot outside the box. So Conte just probably, it's another option for him, and that's what he wants. We said last season that he didn't have anyone off the bench. He didn't have any options, any game changers, any winners, anyone who's going to score off the bench. Yeah, we added Kulusevski to the team, and now we have three attacking players who can get you consistently 10, 15 goals a season, and Lucas can probably chip in with the goals from wing back if he plays consistently there. To be honest, I prefer to see Matt Doherty out of the 3 options because I think he's been the most consistent this season. Before his injury, we were calling him like something about Roberto Carlos or something like that on Twitter, and it was funny at the time, but it was brilliant because he was chipping in
the Irish
goals and assists. Yeah, there we go, the Irish scuffle. Yeah, I know it was something like that, but yeah, he was he started playing again in his role that he played at Wolves, and he was gathering some consistency and some momentum and a partnership. To be fair, with the back line and with the forward line, he was finding Kane, he was finding Son, and to be honest, But Luke is at right wing back. It's interesting, and hopefully just another option for Conte, and it looks like he's going to keep him, and he's not going to be sold. And if I think we say this all the time, if Conte is happy with, I'm happy. You know, if Lucas Moura is up for playing right wing back, and Conte thinks you can make him a right wing back, then let's do it. Let's do it, and I'm fully behind it. You know.
Simone, let's come to you. Do you think Antonio Conte is pleased with the 2 games during pre-season so far?
Yeah. Antonio rates the games in pre-season, not as much as, of course, the important games, but he wants to try, he wants to feel himself, he wants to taste his players. So I don't think we are talking about key games, but of course, it's a good chance to test how good is Lucas Moura playing right wing back, for example. How good is that? For example, today we saw Sanchez playing as a left-footed centre back on the left, and we didn't see too much Davinson Sanchez playing that position last season. So, for example, we are talking about all experiments that Antonio is trying to do in the summer. You know, you before mentioned that some other friendlies that Tottenham have ahead. So, for example, Rome, for example, Rangers. I think that at the end of July, Rome will be a good test because Rome won the UEFA Conference League last season. So we are talking about Jose Mourinho, maybe a better club than the Rangers. Let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. So I think that Antonio has this time to look at different perspectives about some players. You know, we were expecting Dejan Kulusevski, for example, to play as a right wing back. Instead, today he played Lucas Moura in that position. So we can wait for something similar in the next couple of weeks.
Simone, that game against Roma in a couple of weeks against Jose Mourinho, that won't be no friendly, will it? Between Conte and Jose. Wow. And there's a trophy at stake as well. That will not be a friendly.
No, definitely. Never a friendly. That will be a final, a Europa League final, a Conference League final, things like that. They hate each other a lot. They have many bust-ups in the last couple of years. And in Rome, again, Jose Mourinho, in the last couple of months, he used to attack Conte again, to be honest, because Jose were asked about his past in Inter de Milan when he won the famous triplete in 2010. And Antonio won the Scudetto last season with Inter de Milan. Then he left Inter, he joined Tottenham, and Inter didn't manage last season to win as well the title. So Jose was asked about that, and he said, you cannot compare me to Antonio Conte or something like that, because in Inter de Milan, I'm the boss, and I always been the boss. So no friendlies, no friends, absolutely. 2 men that hate each other 100%, guys.
Max, let's come to you. Let's talk about the game. In the 13th minute, Richarlison put in a fantastic cross that Sessegnon missed. What have you made of Richarlison in the Spurs shirt so far?
Do you know what? I feel like we've obviously got the best to come. We'll find out what his best position is. But obviously playing out on the right, maybe that's where Conte wants to see him play. But I'm a massive Kulusevski fan, so I'm hoping it doesn't shut out Kulu, because obviously towards the back end of last season he was vital for us. But he gives us another option. He's got something about him. He makes things happen. He's good on the ball. He's got experience. The price tag itself, I actually don't really care about the price tag. I mean, I'm glad we've just got him in. We've got him over the line. So it's a big signing. It's a statement signing. We've got a lot of games next season. And whether he's going to be playing up front on his own with obviously a couple of the wingers, Kulu, Son, Kane behind, I think it's just exciting in general. But him, he's just he's someone that you kind of never know what you're going to get, and then I feel like that's quite exciting. He's got a lot to his game. Everton fans highly respected him, and they were gutted to see him leave. I mean, I know there's one Everton fan that I actually met when I was at the Everton game last season, and he phoned me as soon as that transfer went through, absolutely gutted. And I think that just proves how good he actually is. So I'm not going to lie to you, the last couple of games I wasn't able to see much of the first game, but the game I saw today, he's like you said, he's got a good ball in the box. If we can get someone like on the end of these crosses and whatnot, and the link up play is going to be there, because we've got a couple of Brazilians in the side as well now, haven't we? Like the Brazilian trio. I don't know whether it's going to be as good as like the 2002 World Cup Brazilian team, but I'm sure Richarlison will be able to pip in with like 15 goals this season. I'm sticking to that, and I really cannot wait to see. I've actually gone and ordered myself the away kit with Richarlison on the back, so you'll be seeing that on the timeline near you soon, Chris.
I'm not at all surprised. I know you like a lot of fun on your YouTube channel as well, Max. Have you been working on his celebration?
Well, the chant didn't go down very well for me, mate. So the celebration, we'll see if that comes out of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium once he scores a few. Yeah.
Yeah, check out Max's channel for that. I'm sure it'll be out soon. Melvin, let's come to you in the 16th minute. A shot from Heung-min Son just outside the box, just went wide. And in the 26th minute, Harry Kane thought it was 1-0. Now, I saw the flag go up. Kane didn't see it. But what a strike that was from Harry Kane. Of course, it was ruled offside. But Harry Kane's been in good form, hasn't he, over these last two games? Melvin, are you there? Simone, do you want to take that question?
Yeah, sorry, I lost your question, mate. I lost the question as well.
Harry Kane, of course, he thought that he put Spurs 1-0 up in the 26th minute. The flag went up. It was ruled out for offside, but he's been in great form over these last two games.
Yeah, it's quite strange. It's quite strange because if you look at his career, he always show to suffer a little bit when the weather is warm. And he always struggle to become Harry Kane in August, as you remember. So he always started to score a lot of goals when it comes September, when it comes October, and things like that. Of course, with Nuno, the situation was different. He managed to score just one goal under Nuno, but the situation was completely different. It's something strange, but it's good. It's good not just for Tottenham, because the league will start on the 6th of August, but it's good as well for him, because in Qatar in December he will find very, very hot weather. So he needs to understand to find that the weather will be at that dimension when he starts playing World Cup. So it's good for him. I think that it's a massive season for Alia. It's a massive season. Because he wants to be back fighting really from the start to the Golden Boot. That's for sure. And mainly he will wear the armband with the national team, with England. So, wow, it's going to be 11 months season for Harry, maybe the most important of his career.
Max, in the 29th minute, a Sevilla player shot from outside the box. Hugo Lloris made a fantastic save. I tell you what, Hugo Lloris now been at the club for 10 years. Surely he is not going to leave Tottenham Hotspur Football Club without winning a trophy. This must be his year to lead us to glory.
I still can't believe how there's fans out there from other clubs that just don't rate him as highly as we do. He's honestly one of the best keepers in the league, and he has been for years. He makes save. How many times the last couple of seasons there's been some crazy saves that he's made? The one that always comes to mind, there was a great save today, obviously. But the one that comes to mind, do you remember in I think it was in the Europa League, where the ball literally is on the line and he just comes out of nowhere. Like, he makes, yes, he's prone to errors and he's not good with his feet, but you've got to remember now, it's so hard to find a keeper these days that's good at diving, handling, kicking. Those keepers don't come around very often. That's what Man United thought they had when they first signed De Gea. They thought they had literally the next best thing. But Lloris is literally up there with the best. And it's crazy to think that the only reason we'll ever replace him is obviously because of his age. There's no Spurs fan that would want to see him get replaced. He's been the best keeper. I remember when we signed him from Lyon, we knew we were getting a good keeper, and he's only got better and better. He's got better and better. People forget that we haven't had the best defensive sides in the recent years. So the fact we can finish where we have done with some of the defensive partnerships we've had is just phenomenal, because he's saved us time and time again. He's world class. He's obviously won the World Cup. He's brilliant. It'll be a sad day, obviously, when he does retire. I'd love to see him retire with us. And I'd love to see him obviously win a trophy, like you said. If there's anyone that obviously deserves it, it's him, because he's been loyal to us. He's any kid that's growing up now, they won't remember the keeper before Lloris, and that's saying something when that happens, because I can probably tell you the days of when I remember like Casey Keller. That was like my sort of growing up stage. I loved Paul Robinson, and then when Lloris came in, I was playing a lot of FIFA at the time. I know FIFA can say a lot of things about a player, but that was one thing they got spot on. It was that Lloris is a brilliant keeper. He was the best then. He's still one of the best in the league. And yeah, it's just, we got to do it for him. And this is the time. Like, you ain't taking the smile off my face this season, Chris. No chance. Especially unless Lloris obviously makes a howler on the first day of the season. But let's hope that doesn't happen.
It feels so good, though, Max, doesn't it, to be a Spurs fan right now? And I know I keep saying this a lot, but everybody, even some of the fans that I know who are particularly negative a lot of the time, everybody is positive. Everyone has got a smile on their face. And like you guys said earlier, everyone is looking forward to that opening day of the season against Southampton. Well,
Chris, it's not just we've made our one marquee signing, like our welcome Bale back, and everyone starts raving again. It's like you've got Conte Cam. You've got this new Spurs app. We're out in South Korea. You've got which is obviously everyone's going mental about. You've got signings happening weekly. It's not just one thing that's happening, Chris. There's so many. Every fan has so many different things to talk about. There's a different range of players there. We're not even done in the market yet. We've got more to go. I mean, bring it on. I'm all here for it, and this is why I keep saying to anyone that's watching that I'm gutted I'm not out there with Chris, because I would be in my absolute element. And the fact that people get to see behind the scenes and you get to show your experiences out there, and it's not just putting on a happy face like what Instagram can be made out to be. You're literally living the dream of this. Is like the players are loving it, the fans are loving it, and this is why they've sold out those games out there, because they're fans, they're passionate. They can see that they're not. Yes, they're there for Son, a lot of them, and I don't blame them. It's their home country, but there's fans there that know Tottenham are going places. We're not just we're not just a top team, a top 10 club anymore, top 7. Like we're Champions League. We need to establish ourselves and get back there this season. And I'm waffling on about it, but the signings, they're big signings. You've got Jed Spence that's coming through, who's potentially going to be the next big right back. And I actually see some talk. Imagine you have Sessegnon and Jed Spence. That could be Walker and Rose all over again. And you've got that across the park. I feel like we're maybe missing one or two different signings. We get them, and I'll tell you what, we're in for a treat this season, Chris.
I love that line, Max. Signings are happening weekly. When did any of us Spurs fans think that we'd be saying that? It's just incredible. And the smiles just say, oh, Melvin, let's come to you. 33rd minute, Sessegnon put in a good cross. A quick touch from him, and then he put it into the box. Heung-min Son headed it, comfortable for the goalkeeper. But I made this note because that is what, personally for me, that's what I want to see Sessegnon do more of. Quick crosses into the box. And, we know how important the wing backs are for Antonio Conte. What do you think that Antonio Conte has learned over these 2 games with the wing backs he has played in these matches so far?
Like Sessegnon this game, I think he's improving steadily. He's not bursting. He's not like all of a sudden he turned into Gareth Bale, but he's a slow progression. From that game that he played in the Conference League where he got sent off, and everyone was expecting him to have a really good game, and people weren't patient with him. And it's like, it's going to take time for Sessegnon to see him mature into a solid left wing back, I guess, because he's suited for that position. I think he's perfect for that position. He has a bit of pace. There's a bit of quality on the ball. he's very difficult to get past as well. We saw that during the Liverpool match, and even at the end of the season, he's very, very solid wing back. And another season under Conte with his guidance and his training and his defending philosophy. I think Italians in general, as much as this pains me to say because they beat us in the Euros, and me as a Maltese person, I support England. So the Italians, they know how to defend. It's their art. It's a bit boring in a way, but they know how to defend.
It's my art.
Yeah,
He's calling your Italians boring, Simone.
No, but they win. They get it over the line. And you saw that during the Euros because they stayed in the game. They defended well. It's what the Italians know how to do. And it's bred into Conte. Conte knows how to defend. He knows how to get teams over the line. He knows this stuff, and you could see it. You could sort of see it in our back line. I mean, Eric Dyer, as much as we didn't really rate him a couple of years ago, even though there was a player there. He has the basics of a good central defender. He just didn't have it at the time, and now we can start to see it bit by bit. Ben Davies and as well. Christian Romero played an amazing game, and we missed him for, I think, like 20 games last season. I think he played half of the season. The other half, he was injured. Why? He didn't have a pre-season. Now he's going to have a Conte pre-season, one of the best pre-seasons you can have.
Yeah.
And I hope Sessegnon, and with his hamstring injuries or groin injuries, whatever he had, I hope he learns about his body and he can maintain it. He knows how much he can play and how much rest he needs. And with Perisic, they can rotate in and out. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see these players develop because they've only been under Conte for 7-8 months, and we've not seen them after they had the proper preseason. Most of them know his system, and I think we saw when Kulusevski came in, he was a bit more effective than Richarlison. I think Richarlison didn't take up the proper positions at the time. He didn't know where to run. He didn't know where he should be to receive the ball. I think Kulusevski has a bit of a head start on top of Richarlison. It's good to see we have players now competing for the same position like we had under Poch. Now there's competition, even for Kane, possibly. There's direct competition, and there's direct, one can learn of the other. And if one person is started, for example, against Southampton and the other one's on the bench, it's not because one is better than the other. It's because the other player knows he's going to be playing the next game or in the Champions League or in the League Cup. So there's many games this season, and there's this positive vibe and energy that I've never seen before, or I haven't seen until I think that run that we had during the Champions League final. I've never seen a squad like this tight and this happy and pulling the same rope. We're all pulling on the same rope, and we're all going in the right direction. And an extreme contrast to last season, well, Kane hadn't even showed up the pre-season yet. I think he was still on holiday. Because I had on August 6th, I had written down that Kane made that statement. Remember, he put out a statement after being silent for the whole summer. He put out a statement on Instagram or Twitter saying I was supposed to return and I was away and blah, blah, blah. And it's completely different to this season. He's already scoring goals. I've never seen him this fit in July. And I think something that Max, I had him say once on these podcasts, when people say Kane is getting old. Kane is our age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're in our
run of
prime
that
right
now?
How many minutes could I run on that pitch?
How many limps?
You'll be lucky if I can do a couple, mate. Honestly, though, how are they? It's ridiculous heat like that. That's intense. That is intense because I don't care who you are, even if you're Superman, running backs and forwards 42 times in that heat on that pitch. I mean, that's Chris, how big though that pitch. Yeah. Any pitch like that is phenomenal size. So the fitness levels is just a joke, to be honest.
Brilliant. It's brilliant. Simone, let's come to you. In the 38th minute, a header went to Eric Lamela, who hit it against the post. Lloris was completely beaten. What did you make of Eric Lamela's performance tonight?
Wow, that was good. That was funny to see him playing Tottenham, playing Spurs, because of course 8 years. We're not talking about 2 days, 3 days, 8 years. He was injured most of the time. Okay, we need to admit it, but of course we are talking about a player that gave absolutely everything for the jersey, for the shirt. So I think that every sports fan recognized, and tonight as well, recognize how much he did. He tried to do for the club. So we remember a great guy, fantastic guy, good player, very good player, technically one of the best we have seen in the last couple of years. So we are talking about the top guy, top professional, someone that gave absolutely everything. First for AVB, then for Sherwood, then for Mauricio, and then of course to Jose and Ryan Mason. So we are talking about the top guy, top professional. It was great to see him playing football again, because last season he was injured too. He was out for months, also in Sevilla, in Andalusia. So we are talking about an unlucky guy in terms of muscular injury. So I was happy. I was happy to see him playing, to see his smile, to see him hugging so many old friends. That was great. Proper Tottenham guy, 100%.
Max, let's come to you. Now, half time, it was 0-0. And then there were lots of trouble with the players on the pitch. Can you talk me through what happened? Because, of course, I was at the game. I was quite high up in the stadium, and I couldn't really see what had happened or who started any trouble. Can you enlighten me?
So I know, obviously, a couple of minutes prior to that, I don't know if you saw, but Son knocked the ball past the player, and he accidentally put his arm out, like in no intent to like smack someone, but he smacked like one of the Sevilla players, and he's obviously made his mouth bleed a little bit, which he obviously wasn't too happy with. And that was obviously when there was a little bit of all the players coming together, like for about 10, 15 seconds, when I said before Richarlison and Romero were straight there to back their boy. And I think they weren't happy with that. When it was only 2 minutes before half time, and it just looked like it was kicking off. And you're just thinking, it's a friendly, lads, a pre-season friendly. Heung-min Son is in his home nation. This is the worst place to start on Son because you're going to have the fans running on to help him. You're going to be having, but it must have, whether something was said, I'm not sure. But the fact that I don't know why they're letting it get to them. It's like it's a pre-season friendly. If this is a final, FA Cup final, Champions League final, Europa League final, fair enough. You're going to be a bit more heated. The fact that like the odd tackle goes in here and there that they're not going to like people don't mean, but it's Son. People need to realise he doesn't do things with intent. He's not that sort of guy. You've seen him, like you know how happy he is in person. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't the nicest coming together. It's just he's actually gone straight into his elbow, and there was a lot. Like he needed medical attention. There was a lot of blood. But that's unfortunate. Another day, you just catch someone on like in your jaw, like anywhere else, and then you just carry on. But obviously, I don't know what Sevilla player it was. I don't know whether something was said. I was actually watching a stream, and it wasn't even in English. It was actually with South Korean commentators, so I couldn't actually make out what they were saying. That was a commitment, Chris. That was a commitment. I had a bit of a hangover. I'm watching a stream in Korean, and that's what I knew you were going to be asking me questions about the game. So I thought I need to be here watching it. I was sat in the front room with my dad. He's actually asked me to ask you something, by the way, Chris. This is going very off topic. He has gone. He's just said, ask Chris if he's making a cameo in the next Squid Games.
I'd love to. Jason and I went to all of the locations yesterday. I tell you what, it's absolutely fantastic. If you haven't watched them and you like Squid Game, do check out that video, because we went to a number of filming locations, and where that famous scene is, where the two main characters are set outside the shop. The shopkeeper wanted Jason and I to get the perfect shot, and he was taking his banners down. He was moving the furniture. He went and got a bottle. He went and got two glasses and put it down. I'll tell you, the people here are simply incredible. But Squid Game. If you haven't watched it, then do watch it on Netflix. And tell your dad. I'd love to come back to South Korea.
Chris, you're gonna have to take him out there. You're gonna have to take my dad. And
I'll tell you. But what's great, though, Max, is the amount of people that have seen and commented on videos this week. And they've said, because of your videos, I would love to go to South Korea. So it's great that I've actually, given that advice and shown, South Korea to people that perhaps wouldn't have come here and now they want to visit. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Well, yeah, Chris, because it can, I think from someone like, it's the other side of the world, so it can be quite daunting to get on a flight and go that far, obviously, especially. So the fact that Spurs are out there, and I'm definitely gonna have to. I'm gonna end up going out there when Korea play a game at home and try and get to it, because I just think it's something I need to do. I need to experience it. It looks incredible, honestly.
Do you know the other thing as well? This week, I feel like I put so much content out about Spurs like in the past, but this week it feels like I put more content out about South Korea itself than Tottenham Hotspur content. So if anyone doesn't like that, then I apologise. But covering South Korea this last week has just been an absolute dream. I feel like we're talking about South Korea even on this stream more than we are the football. Melvin, let's come to you. Half time, Emerson Royale, Jabba Tanganga, Ben Davis, Matt Doherty, Benton, Kurt and Kulusevski all come on. Sanchez, Romero, Moura, Sessegnon, Richarlison and Skip all come off. In the 48th minute, there was a good chance for Spurs. Son to Kane, it was blocked. And then in the 50th minute, good work from Heung-min Son. A couple of turns. He still passed to Kane from the floor. Harry Kane then fired home. This is what we all expect from Harry Kane, but absolutely superb work from Heung-min Son. And Heung-min Son, he has had the dream week, hasn't he? Being in his home country, and the reception that Heung-min Son has had this week has just been unbelievable.
I think everyone is immensely proud of him and to have him at Spurs. I don't think we can say anything more on Son without, I don't know what can we say. I love the guy, and he's world class, and he's finding his form. 23 or 22 goals this season without penalties, and it's going to be interesting next season who's going to score more, if it's going to be Son or Kane, because Kane definitely this season started well, and I think it's going to be one of the in recent years he hasn't had the best August, and I think this season definitely with the preseason, no Euros, no World Cup, and no injuries, and no contract problems, and no Man City, and nothing, and he's just focused on getting fit and getting sharp, and hopefully he can get two or three goals just in August, and push for that golden boot, and have a real friendly competition going within the Spurs front line. Kulusevski chipping with goals, and we'll see which one will end up with the golden boot. Probably you'll be. I would. It'd be a safe bet to say it's going to end up at Spurs again with either Son or Kane. With our front line, it'll definitely happen. And I think the reason it didn't happen with Kane this season, it's because what happened with the Man City drama and Nuno, and he still ended up with 17 goals, I believe, which is still pretty good for a striker, for a Premier League striker. And so having a proper season like this, the only thing that worries me a little bit is the World Cup distraction, and England possibly going far into the tournament. Hopefully, hopefully he doesn't get any injuries, because he's going to be playing many games, very high intensity in during the Christmas period. And then, I wish hopefully England go far and maybe win the tournament, and then maybe win, maybe lose, and then he has to return to Spurs. It's going to be interesting how the players manage that, especially with our front line. I think the only player that doesn't play is Kulusevski, which is good to us because he can rest, but he has to keep up his fitness. But it's going to be an interesting season, and especially for Kane. Interesting to see if he plays, if he changes his game, what Conte is going to do with him. It's going to, if we get many set piece goals, if who's going to take the set pieces, who's going to take the free kicks. It's going to be there's lots of things that I'm going to be looking out for the first game, at Southampton. Max, I just said, if Kane is going to be taking free kicks this season, or if it's going to be Son, if it's going to be Perisic, we still haven't seen Perisic or Bissouma in this team and what role they're going to play.
Plenty of options now, yeah.
And before the game started, I loved when Skippy came on, because I'm a massive Oliver Skip fan. Always have been. I've been so excited. I've been banging this Oliver Skip drum since I think Jose Mourinho was at the club. And but I think seeing Bentancur play the both games, I think Bentancur is a level above Skip at the moment. I think he's very fast. I've seen a change in the midfield, even in Højbjerg. Højbjerg looks a lot more nimble, faster with the ball. Even though he did make a couple of mistakes, a couple of loose passes, I was impressed with Højbjerg and Bentancur. And I think the lineup going into the Premier League will be pretty unchanged. I think for maybe one or two maximum. I don't think we're going to change the system much until all the players are up to speed with Conte's system, and until they have good performances and he can trust them. I think the lineup and the players that we have, I think Conte will stick with them. I think the real interesting position will be the right back. Which right back will he go for? I think the rest will be pretty much unchanged.
Simone, let's come to you. Of course, you live in Italy. You cover Serie A a lot. When Antonio Conte was manager of Inter Milan, did you ever hear about players doing 42 laps of the pitch? Or lengths of the pitch, should I say?
Yeah. Guys, you remember very well the Tottenham series, All or Nothing, under Jose Mourinho. Next one will be about Arsenal. And in Italy, last season, Amazon Prime Video, made the same with Juventus. Juventus under Andrea Pirlo as a manager, like a manager. And there is a moment where Pirlo was actually caught on saying, my players, blah, blah, blah. But they need to remember that when I was a player and I had Antonio Conte like a manager, I saw people crying on the floor. So is that what I realized watching Sonny, Harry down to the floor in Korea some days ago? That's nothing new for me. That's Antonio Conte, guys. That's Antonio Conte.
Yeah.
Antonio loves to make a sort of soft training, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, with the ball, without the ball. Then players can think that they are finished. No way. 42 legs, up and down. That's Antonio's style, guys. That's Antonio's style. And when Antonio came to Tottenham last season, if you remember, Chris, he kept on saying, we need to build the game foundations. We need to build the game foundations. And when he said that, he meant at that kind of suffering in training that Poch used to have with his players 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I think that's key. That's key. We are living something similar to the Pochettino era. And I'm optimistic towards the future, even for this reason.
Max, let's come to you. Now, I felt the equaliser was coming from Sevilla because in the 61st minute, they had a good chance to hit over the bar. A couple of minutes later, same thing. And then their goal finally came in the 64th minute. Ivan Rakitic scored a well-worked goal, great strike past Hugo Lloris. What do you make of Tottenham's defending?
Well, it's always been the case with Tottenham's defending, isn't it? So we're hoping that going into the season, we can cut these mistakes and that out. But for the goal, it was actually a really well hit strike. I mean, not many keepers, I don't think, would have got there. It was well worked. It was a quick, it was a header down from, well, it was passing from the side, wasn't it? And then it was headed down to Rakitic, blah, blah, and then he just smacked it from just outside the box. So we know that if you don't close down those sort of players, then they're going to punish you. But in terms of the defending,
I think people forget there's substitutions that get made in these preseason friendlies. You can't really sometimes look too much into it. He knows that's where we still need to improve on, and that's obviously why we have got Lamela, if that's how you pronounce it, coming in on loan. We're going to be getting Jed Spence, who's obviously another defender, and then apparently we're still not done in that centre back position, are we? So
they have signings every week.
Yeah, every week new signings. So it just goes to show they know we're finally sat here for once, Chris. We can normally see what needs to be done, what needs to be improved, and they can even see that now themselves. We're not having to say why can they not see it, because in the past it's always been why do we not get a backup striker? We've actually got one. Why can we not get a right winger to play with Son and Kane? We've got one. Why can we not get a right back? We've got one. And we've got more signings hopefully coming in. So defending this season, obviously, you've got Sanchez as well. So I know he's very hit and miss with the fans as well. He looks like he's someone that I reckon he could actually flourish under Conte. I don't see why he can't. And obviously Dyer gets a lot of stick, but he's obviously been brilliant. Romero speaks for himself. So we've got the foundations now. It's just whether we can put that into the test. And I think that's why he is putting them through their paces, because he's trying to get the best out of them. He knows this is what he gets paid for. This is why he's at the club. This is Daniel Levy knows that this could potentially be one of our last seasons, so to speak, where we've got a manager of this caliber, because we all thought it was going to be under the Mourinho era, didn't we? So the fact we've managed to pull this out of the bag, and we're all sat here so optimistic for the season to come. I mean, I don't want anyone on your stream these days, Chris. I'm not going to name names, but when they're sat here and they're not happy, I'm not going to be a happy bunny, especially if I'm on that podcast. I'm just letting you know now, right?
I know exactly what you mean. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Melvin, let's come to you. 68th minute. What a shot from Dejan Kulusevski. I tell you what, how on earth did that not go in? From where I was sat in the stadium, we all jumped up because we all thought that was hitting the back of the net.
I'm interested to see what Kulusevski will do this season, because I think Conte can get that 10% more out of him. You know what I mean? I think he'll be a bit lighter, a bit fitter, a bit sharper, a bit faster. I think he can get that out of him. And then sometimes, most of the time, Kulusevski makes the right decisions. And I think Conte, if he can have his stamp on him and in his system, he can get that bit more out of Kulusevski. I think he can challenge, Kane and Son with goals and his numbers. We saw his contributions were incredible, and one of the main reasons I think we made the Champions League this season was because of Kulusevski. And I think the best example was the Man City game when he put that ball into Kane in the last second of the game. I think if Lucas Moura got that ball, he probably would have hit the corner flag with it. But he has that quality on the ball, that delivery was perfect. And I think if we can get that all season from him, and even in the Champions League and in the Cups, and there's many games to play this season, and it'll be interesting to see who he'll start first game of the season. If it's going to be Richarlison, if it's going to be Kulusevski. But either way, us Spurs fans are going to be happy. And there's options on the bench. If it's still 0-0 half-time, put Kulusevski on. Put Lucas Moura wing back. Bring on Perisic. I mean, you know what I mean? Put balls into Kane and Son and Kulusevski, float them in. Someone's going to head one in. There's options now. There's proper options where even if Højbjerg or Skip or Bentancur, they look a bit leggy, put on Bissouma. If we're winning 1-0, take off, for example, Kulusevski and put 3 in the middle, have Skip, Bissouma. Who's going to go past them? It's like we have our spine back. When we had Moussa Dembele and Wanyama and Eric Dyer in the middle, and behind them was Toby and Yan, and in front of them was Kane. We have our spine back. We have a spine, and no one is going to walk through us like they used to, or no one is going to, keep the ball for about 2 minutes and we can't get it back, and we're not going to lose the ball after 5 seconds. We saw today in spells we were keeping the ball really, really well, even though there were moments where we lost it straight away. But there were moments where we were passing from the back, and even with Tanganga and these young players playing as well, with Papa Matassar and all these guys, we were keeping the ball really, really well under pressure as well from Sevilla, and it's amazing to see, and it's brilliant to see, because it's what we need.
Now, Simone, let's come to you. In the 71st minute, Harry Kane went off along with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Hugo Lloris and Heung-min Son. On came Bryan Hill, Sarr, Parrott and Austin. Simone, what do you think the future holds for the likes of Bryan Hill and Pape Matar Sarr and Troy Parrott? Will all three of these players, or one or two of them, go out on loan? Do you think Antonio Conte wants to keep them for the Premier League season, bearing in mind that we can use 5 subs from the start of next year?
In my opinion, Sarr will stay at the club. We stay at the club at least for the first year, in order to improve his level, in order to understand something about Spurs, something about being into a top club. That has to be his primary target. So I don't think he will be loaned out. Bryan Hill will be again loaned out. I don't think it is a priority now for Fabio, for Paratici. I think the priority is for Fabio is to loan or to sell, if possible, Gilo Celso, Tanguy Ndombele, Sergio Reguilon and Harry Winks, that was not included by a proper choice made by Antonio before the start of the tourney in Asia. And I think Bryan Hill will be added to that list of players that can be loaned out. I don't think for his physicality abilities is adapting himself to the style of the Premier League, because he's fast with the ball, but without the ball it's too easy, it's too slim. So I will go for other options, and he plays in positions where Tottenham are so strong, because on the right there is Dejan, there is Lucas Moura, and Richarlison as well can play in that position. Even if I think that Richarlison loves to give his best when he plays and starts his game from the left. So I see Richarlison mainly as a backup for both Sonny and Harry as a false nine, because on the right you've got the likes of Lucas Moura, Dejan Kulusevski. So I think that Richarlison will be the first choice, even more this year, because we'll play in 16, because 5 changes, just like Melvin was saying. I think that the games will be key in that dimension, in that sort of contest.
Now, just a quick question for all three of you. Max, we'll start with you. What do you think of the new kit that we wore today? What do you think of that? And who's your man of the match?
The new kit, I think people have been a bit harsh on it, to be honest. I don't think it looks too bad. We've had a few crazy kits, especially the third kit that hasn't been officially released yet, but we've obviously seen what it could be. It's like when the one last season that had like the paint chucked on it. It looked like a 5-year-old just gone with their hands all over it like this, and then everyone ends up enjoying it and liking it and buying it. Like the amount of shots I saw of them last season was mental. So people are very just quick to judge, and I feel like that comes with being a Spurs fan. You just instantly, I hate it, don't want to see it. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it will grow. It will 100% grow on people. We start winning back-to-back games wearing that kit, everyone's going to be loving it. So, yeah, definitely getting it myself. I don't actually see what's too bad about it. People say it looks like a bit of a swimwear costume or suit, but I don't know. People just have some weird images in their head to be thinking these sort of things. It's a football kit. It could be worse. We're sponsored by Nike. We didn't used to be. And then when you're not sponsored by Nike, everyone wants to be sponsored by Nike. So you can't please the fan base sometimes. Chris, there's got to be something that Spurs fans moan about. They can't moan about the stadium. They can't moan about the training. They can't moan about the manager. They can't moan about the signings. Let's moan about the kit. Oh, it's purple. Oh, it's got a yellow ribbon around the top. I need to moan about it. Well, how about you go moan about it somewhere else? Because it's good vibes only now, Chris, and you know that. You'll always get that from me. I'm turning this kit into a good kit. I'm probably going to wear it on the opening day of the season. Just see how many people are there.
I was just about to say, if you pop over to Max's channel in the next 24, 48 hours, he'll be modelling that kit on his channel. I have absolutely no doubt. Melvin, sorry, Max, who's your man of the match?
Oh, my man of the match. It's a tricky one, actually. I don't think there was any like proper outstanding performers. Put me on the spot there because I'm not sure.
I'm going to go for Eric Dyer.
If you're going Eric Dyer,
Me too.
We got someone at the back then. I'm not going. I'm just going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go Son just because he's in his home country and he got an assist. It's easy.
Cool.
It's easy
I agree with
to
you,
say
Max,
that.
yeah.
Oh, quick one before you actually get on. Sorry, guys. Before you get on to the others, I know everyone in the chat. I've been seeing a lot of James Maddison talking. I don't know if you were going to talk about him, but he's someone that I'd be very happy to welcome to Tottenham.
We will just ask Melvin and Simone that same question on the kit and the man of the match, and then we will come on to transfers, and then we'll wrap it up on transfers. So, Melvin, who was your man of the match, and what do you think of the kit?
Man of the match, I think Eric Dyer was the only player to play 90 minutes, I believe. Everyone else was subbed. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
you're very close, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it to him. And the kit, the only thing I'll say is, you know, the green and yellow or whatever it was, the Champions League one with Lucas. That one you can find on eBay selling for about 400, 500 euros. You know,
wow.
You can't even find one in like a regular size. I found one the other day, a kid size, selling for about 400 euros. So it's not the kit. I think it's more the occasion. If we get to a Champions League semi-final and we're playing away, and you know Kulusevski scores and in that kit, I'll be buying it. You know what I mean? And
I don't care what kit we're wearing. Just win some trophies.
Well, I know, but it's not the kit. If we have a brilliant game away and we beat Arsenal or someone or City in that kit and we score 2 or 3, and you know these replays we'll see forever. And if you have that kit, I wish I had. I don't know if you have that kit, Chris or Max. Do you have that kit, the one with Lucas Moura?
I actually don't.
I collect all the kits.
I don't.
I actually
Sorry?
don't have that one. No.
Do you have it, Chris?
I collect all the kits, yeah.
Oh, right. I've been trying to collect a few of them on eBay. I actually found the colorful one that you guys are talking about. I actually found it from America because I couldn't find it from the club shop. I couldn't find it in London. I couldn't find it from anywhere. I managed to get it from America and have a friend of mine bring it over because I couldn't find it. And I just really liked it. I didn't think we'd have another kit like that ever again. I just wanted
Chris, I'm gonna have to ask my friend. Sorry, Simon, I know we're coming to you. I'm gonna have to ask my friend. I don't know if you obviously saw, but I got sent the 125th anniversary shirt, didn't I? And I couldn't believe the condition that it was in. It's unbelievable. I mean, I put it on for the photo, and I thought I'm not going to be touching that shirt again. It's going up in the wardrobe, or it's going to be framed, or something along those lines. And I'll be doing the same. I might have to reach out to him after this stream, see if he has any contacts for one of those shirts. well, no, not as bad as that sounds. Not to get it for free. I'm very happy to pay for it for myself, but it was a very very kind gesture from him.
We know Max likes a freebie. If anyone wants to send anything to Max, you know, I'm sure he can provide address details for free gifts. He'll take anything. He's very positive about
Send
anything.
it over. Send it. I'll have a bit of smile on my face.
Exactly. Simone, same question to you. Who was your man of the match and what do you think of the kit?
Eric Dyer, because of course he played all the game, but I think it was the man of last season. And when we were talking about with Melvin about Italian football, Italian tactics, I think that Antonio is the manager that can develop Eric Dyer's game more than everyone else. Absolutely, 100%. Because what we saw last season by Eric Dyer is something incredible. It reminds me of the prime Toby Alderweireld and the prime Jan Vertonghen. So I'm very, very happy to see Eric Dyer to shine at that level. The kit is one of the worst I've ever seen in terms of Tottenham history, to be honest. One of the worst. And that's feeling about... yeah, because I was in love with Under Armour, guys.
You won't be getting sent a free one.
To be honest, I was in love with Under Armour, guys. And about 2018, 2019, the season of the last season under Poch, the Champions League final one, I had the first kit Lamela 11. I had the away kit at the World 4. You remember the Fulham away game when Winksy scored at the last minute of the game? I had both, but I didn't have, and I still do not have, the third kit, the green one, the Amsterdam one, the Young Cruyff Arena one, when Lucas Moura scored that. The most important night in Tottenham history, guys. So I'm still missing it. And yeah, I don't know which one I will pick. I will buy it this season because, of course, still, the first one is not one of my favorite. The second one is one of my worst. So I hope the third one will be as good as we can.
Well, we're going to wrap the show up by talking about transfers. Of course, Tottenham Hotspur have officially signed 5 players. We're expecting the 6th one to be Jed Spence. The announcement really is imminent, could come out tomorrow. Max, let's talk about transfers. You mentioned James Maddison. Who would you like to see at Spurs next, and what positions do you think Antonio Conte will be targeting in the next 40-odd days before the transfer window ends?
Ooh, that attacking midfield position, 100%. I feel like that kind of. I'm just going to shut this door 1 second. I feel like that attacking midfield position. Sorry, time. Sorry, Chris. If people didn't know that watching the stream, I'm actually around a friend's gathering, so I've taken my time out of my day to jump on Chris's podcast and talk about Spurs because we love them that much. But transfers, James Maddison, I told you, I'd love him. I honestly feel like that would be the perfect piece to the puzzle that Conte has built here and trying to build. Because Eriksen, don't worry about that. He's got Man United. Everyone's going to throw their toys out the pram like they did with the kit, and like Simon didn't like it. He probably didn't want Eriksen back either. But he's 5 years younger than Eriksen. He's honestly set piece. He takes set pieces. He's unreal. It's just he would be that player. He'd fit so perfectly into the squad. And it's obviously a rumour. It's not anything that's official yet. It's not out there. It's not on Sky Sports. It's just one who I feel like would fit the piece. Homegrown player. He ticks the boxes. Not many players right now I can pick up the top of my head that tick all the boxes. It's obviously the centre-back position. I know Bastoni's obviously always talked about, and he wants to end up being the Inter Milan captain. So it might be tough to get someone in that calibre of player. We've got Lenglet on loan. Whether people are happy with that, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not too pleased with it, but knowing he's only on loan, that's fine. Maddison's the one for me, Chris. If I've got to bang one out there, one signing more, get Maddison in, big transfer window, I'm happy.
I don't think there's any doubt, though, Max, that Antonio Conte is going to get absolutely everything on his shopping list, isn't he?
That shopping list, I'd love to see how long the shopping list was when he first walked into the club and had that conversation with Levy about it, when he was talking contracts. He probably knew he was getting a good contract. First thing he probably wanted to say was, if I'm here in the summer, if we get Champions League, here's my 10 players. Where's my war chest of money? That's what he'll be saying to Daniel Levy. So there's things we don't know behind the scene, Chris. I'm sure as you don't know, mate. You don't know who our next signing is. You're following Tottenham all around the world now, mate.
I'm too busy eating the South Korean food and seeing the sights. Sorry, Max. Tottenham have gone second.
I can see that. I can see that, mate.
Melvin, same question to you. Who do you think that Antonio Conte will be targeting? What positions will he be targeting next to really improve this Spurs squad to really compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool for even Premier League? And I know some fans are getting carried away. Some are getting very excited about what we can achieve next season. But, really to compete against the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool, what else do we need?
It depends on the outgoings as well. I think that will be a contributing factor. If we send out Tanganga, Rodon on loan, we'll probably bring in another central defender. My only issue is if we bring in a creative midfielder, it's like this Conte has to change the system to fit him in. Is he going to play with 3 midfielders? Is he going to take out Kulusevski? It's a bit of a good problem for Conte to have. It's not obviously my problem. It's going to be Conte's problem and something that he needs to figure out. And depending on the opposition, what system he wants to play and team tactics and stuff like that. Obviously, we saw this season when we struggled to score against like teams like Brentford and stuff like that. games like those, you need the the lock picker. People keep saying, the Eriksen type, and obviously you have to keep this kind of player happy. He has to have game time and all of that kind of stuff. Do we want Maddison? Yeah, I'd love Maddison. He's Premier League proven, just like Richarlison and Bissouma. So, and we're going to take probably one of Leicester's best players, and he contributes goals and assists consistently for the past 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I'd love to take him. If he costs 40, 50 million, 60 million, I don't care. It's not my money. Just pay it and bring him in. If Conte wants him, people complaining because we paid 50 million for Richarlison. It's not my money. I don't care if we paid 80. At least we have him in. At least we have him. And we paid. We need the player. We had Jensen before, and Llorente, and Vinicius, and now, and it's night and day. I mean, these are the type of players we had before.
I was going to say, Melvin, it sounds a lot of money, but he can play through the middle. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. You're getting a player who can play in 3 different positions. So I think that is money well spent, in my opinion. Simone, let's come to you. Now, you saw Antonio Conte turn that Inter Milan side around and win the Serie A title. Yeah. How confident are you that he could do the same at Spurs and really challenge with the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City? And if so, what else do we need?
This year is gonna be difficult because, of course, you need to reduce the gap with the top 2. I think that Tottenham can play without any kind of problems for the 3rd position because, of course, Chelsea are revolutionizing so much about their team. So I think Tottenham has got so big chances to finish 3rd. But, of course, in terms of finish 1st and winning the Premier League, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very, very tough because it's a strange season, guys. It's a strange season, and you have to be a very, very important bench, very, very important backups. And of course, anything can happen, but I don't see, especially because it seems that it's gonna be the last season for Pep Guardiola at the Etihad. I don't see him losing his 5th title. So I'm expecting 1 more year for Antonio to push for the really as a proper title contender. It's just like Poch, guys. In the 2nd year, of course, we all remember about the title race against Leicester, against Foxes. But the truth is that team wasn't ready yet. The team that was ready was in the 3rd one under Poch, season 2016-2017. That was a proper team that made 85 points. Unfortunately, Spurs had an enemy on the other bench called Antonio Conte, that was the manager of Chelsea, that managed to make 85 points. So incredible. I think I'm expecting 1 more year to be title contender, guys.
Simone, just a quick yes or no. Do you think Antonio Conte will win a trophy at Spurs next season?
I hope yes. Maybe a Carabao Cup or a FA Cup. I hope yes, guys.
Now, Antonio Conte, after the game tonight, has given some team news on Ben Davies. He said he finished the game with a bit of pain in his ankle. Honestly, I hope it's nothing serious. The rest of the team is okay. We have Basuma and Forster out with COVID, but they will be back in London on Wednesday to train with us. Ivan Perisic, we hope to give him 20 to 30 minutes against Rangers next Saturday. Now, Simone, Max and Melvin, thanks so much for joining me on this International Spurs podcast. Max, where can people find you on social media and what are you up to at the moment?
Definitely going forward, Max. Once the season gets started, God, I'll be back in the full flow of match day vlogs, and obviously if I'm not at the away games, then watching on the TV with my old man, because there was actually a comment in the chat that said Max, and I've actually translated it, and I'm going to tell you what it says. I've sent it to my dad. It said, "This is Son Heung-min's fan YouTuber, passionate with my father." Now, in English terms, me and my dad, whenever he's on camera, well, we love him like we're big Spurs fans. So yeah, Max. It's just crazy. Like, Chris, you would have met so many fans out there that's obviously that you wouldn't like. It must have just been an absolute dream, because it kind of makes it feel real. It's not a number on a screen; it's actually viewers watching your videos, and
yeah,
that's the beauty of it. If you can have the best of both worlds and enjoy it, enjoy Spurs firstly, and enjoy getting noticed, and that's always a big perk, isn't it? So yeah, Max on all socials, and yeah, Chris, thanks for having me again, mate. I much appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, Max. I know you've seen the clip. I saw expressions at the game earlier, and when I went down there to say hello the first time, there was a whole queue of people wanting a photograph of him. And the Ledley King evening the other night, there were lots of people coming up to me saying hello, how they enjoy watching the channel, and yeah, the support of Tottenham and all of these Tottenham Hotspur YouTube channels is simply incredible. So thanks so much. For all of the tremendous support in South Korea. I know a lot of South Korean people have been watching this stream this evening. Melvin, thanks so much for joining us again. And what are you up to at the moment?
The invitation. I'm just chilling at home right now. I'm on Twitter if you want to follow me. I'm usually the one, either making fun of Arsenal fans or talking about Spurs. I only tweet about Spurs. I'm obsessed. It's my life. And yeah, Spurs are my illness, and you can find me on Twitter if you want to follow me. Like you said before, I'm from Malta. I come for the games every now and then, and I actually met Chris, 2017 outside the stadium, and we've been friends ever since. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we'll have a brilliant season this season, and we'll win a trophy.
And Simone, it's been lovely having you back. Go on, Max. What are you going to say?
No, I was going to say, Mel, when you next get over, make sure you give me a shout, mate.
Yeah, I messaged you for the Arsenal game, but it was too crazy to meet anyone after that. It was insane.
Max's inbox was full. He's got so many fans.
I wish, Chris.
Simone, lovely to have you back. And tell everyone what you're up to at the moment, how people can find you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. You can follow me on Instagram. And saying that, to be honest, saying to Melvin, I'm missing Malta, I'm missing diving because I'm currently working in Milan, and Milan there is no sea, so I'm missing diving, I'm missing sea. So that's something I wanted to say. Thank you, guys.
Well, Simone, Max and Melvin, thanks so much for joining me, and thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm actually flying back to England tomorrow morning. It is now 2:20 a.m. here in South Korea, so I'll be flying back in the morning or a few hours' time. It's been a wonderful week, a wonderful trip, and as I said, I cannot thank the South Korean people enough for all of their friendliness and welcoming attitude to Jason and I who have visited this week. It's been an absolutely brilliant week. Cannot wait to be back now and go to the Glasgow Rangers friendly next week. Thanks for watching, everybody, as I said, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, come on, you Spurs.